welcome to another video for ScoreCEO. Today we're going to be talking about payment settings for monthly plans and customers that are on hold. So let me start. We're on the dashboard, and let me tell you that you have a widget specifically for billing, and you can keep track of all of your billings for your customers. This is the widget. It shows you the past due clients that are on hold because this is the next billing date and their payment either have been declined or they're cash and the invoice is waiting for you to mark it as paid. You can see who's due today, in the next 7 days, and the next 30 days. So let me select one of these customers that are on hold to show you how to get it out of hold, the reasons why it can be on hold, the customer, and then we'll talk about a little bit of how the monthly payment works. So just by clicking on the eye icon, that's to view the details of the customer. I'm inside the customer file, and I can visit the payment section. This is going to show me the invoices, and that's the first thing I need to verify as a reason why my customer is on hold. And as you can see here, this invoice is unpaid. This is the main reason a client can be on hold. There's an unpaid invoice. So let's open it up. And as you can see, this customer is a cash customer. So the system gives you inside the invoice the option to manually mark it as paid. So if you have your clients under a cash payment method on a monthly basis, you will need to come to their invoices and manually mark it as paid. The easiest way to keep track of that is where I began, down on the dashboard on the billing widget, which is going to show you who is due and who needs to pay. So if this was a credit card or ACH payment method and you have an unpaid invoice, that means that probably the transaction was declined. You will have it in the transaction log right here. If you have retry set up, the system is going to try the amount of times that you set it up. So if it tried 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and it all of them got declined, you're going to have the log here. And you're still going to have this button, but instead of saying mark as paid for credit card and ACH, it's going to say process payment. So as soon as you get in touch with your client and they make sure that the funds are there, you can come back to the invoice and process the payment. Again, that's for credit card and ACH. This is a cash client, so simply click on mark as paid, and this is automatically going to change my status from this invoice from unpaid to paid. Now I have a transaction log for this cash customer letting me know that the payment by cash was captured on this date and time. And if I go back to my client's file to verify the billing status, which is in the first step where you have your personal information for your client, you search for billing status, it automatically changed it to good. So marking the unpaid invoice to paid will automatically change your billing status from hold to good. So that's one way to solve the problem. Now, what happens if I had set up the next billing date, my client is on hold, but I don't have an invoice to mark as paid or to process the payment? So what probably happened, and let me go to payment settings. I'm still inside payments, but right beside invoice you will find payment settings. In this section, as an additional point that I want to mention, is where you can individually customize your plans for your clients. So you have the bronze monthly payment and you want to edit it and let's say charge less for consultation or recurring charge. You can do any type of change and editing in here, save it, and that change will be specifically for this client. It's not going to alter the main plan, and it's not going to change anything for any other client but this one. So having said that, back to the settings. So that means you will need to check the next billing date. If you don't have an invoice to mark as paid and your client is on hold, you need to verify two things. First, the next billing date probably will be a past date from the date you're checking it, and then the billing cycle could be in 0. If the billing cycle is 0, you're telling the system not to bill anything. So if it doesn't bill anything, the date is going to pass, then it's going to be a past date, and the system is going to take it as if the client owes you. They have not paid, so it's set up to hold. Which at the same time, it could be maybe a problem for you, but at the same time I think it's good because it's an alert that something is wrong with the setting and you can solve it, and then after that it's going to be running smoothly. So let me change back the billing cycle. As I said, once I mark the invoice as paid, this date refreshed. Since I marked it today, June 28th, the next billing date refreshed for 30 days from today's date. If you want it sooner than that, you can go ahead and edit the date, but it won't let you take that payment sooner than the settings that you have, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So we have send invoice prior 7 days. So the system takes that into consideration and it blocks from my calendar those 7 days so that the system has time to generate and send that invoice those 7 days prior to the due date. So the sooner I can change this plan to this next billing date will be for July 4th. Okay, and then on July 4th, 7 days previous to that, the invoice is going to be generated and emailed to the client. Now, one more thing that I'd like to mention here is that we have a time conversion issue from the beginning that we're currently working on, and it's going to be fixed hopefully by the first week of July. We're going to be pushing that to beta and solving it for good. So the time conversion issue affects the payment in the following way. I am on Eastern time, so my customer, instead of being charged on July 28th, on July 27th around 7:15 p.m., that payment is going to be processed if it's credit card or ACH, and if it's a cash customer or check customer, then the system is going to generate my invoice. That's basically the things and the settings to take into consideration when we're setting up a new billing date so that our customers are not set to hold and that the payment is processed successfully. So if you need, we have more videos, 2 more videos actually, on how to create payment model plans for monthly, actually for each one of the model plans, but especially for monthly if you have doubts. And we also have a video on how the monthly plan works in the system. For support, as I mentioned, you can use the chat on your portal or go to scoring.com website and use our support chat. We're always here to help.